Okay, I'm going to open this with a quote. I just read it a second ago when I was scrolling on Pinterest, and I was like, that's it. That basically sums up what we're going to talk about in this channeled message and tapping session. And the tapping session is going to be pretty quick. It's more like a prompt, but I'm going to get you guys started. Okay. Oh, I love this. Our deepest fears are like dragons guarding our deepest treasures. That's by a fellow named Rainer Rilke. If I'm saying that correctly, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right or not. But as you guys can see, our topic for today is embracing your inner madness to unlock your greatest treasure. And that couldn't say it better. Our deepest fears are like dragons guarding our deepest treasure. I know I've experienced that firsthand. And it wasn't until I really embraced some darker parts of myself that I started to realize like what I'm really made of, you know what I mean? So, our tarot card for today, for this little session, is the moon card. And now and this is the Radiant Wilds Atlas Tarot for anyone interested. It's my favorite tarot deck right now. But I'm going to put a picture of this. When I do the article for this and post it, I'm going to have this picture in there because I'm going to invite you guys to do a path working with this. And I'll tell you how to do it. It's really easy. I mean, it's not, it's simple. So we'll talk about that. But let's get into this message. And I hope you're uncomfortable already. I hope you are because that's a good thing. Like if you're the idea of embracing your madness, if that triggers or stimulates some feeling inside of you that's like, oh, what's this bitch talking about? I don't know. I don't know. What we talking about here, lady? You telling me go crazy. I want you to be uncomfortable because that means that you are already touching an edge of who you've been. And we're here not to pretend to be someone we're not. We're not here to be the greatest thing we can be or achieve the greatest thing or be fucking perfect, boring, blah. We're here to be ourselves, okay? That's my work. That's what I'm all about. That's what I do for myself every day. That's my internal daily work, and that's the work I do with my clients. We are creating the conditions within you so your true self can fucking emerge, okay? Cuz she's in there or they're in there, he's in there, but they need you to clear that emotional debris, that clutter that's going to let them finally rise, okay? And it's a natural process. It's not the most effortful part of that is facing the uncomfortable shit. That's really the hard part. That's where the labor comes in. That's where the hard work comes in. So okay, I'm going to talk to you guys first about I've got my notes here and this cute little notebook. Is this fucking notebook not the cutest little thing ever? I can't even close it right now. It's so cute. Oh, so cute. Anyway, I'm a notebook girly all day. Okay. I'm gonna talk about the numerology of this first because that felt really important. So the moon card in tarot is 18, and that turns into a 9. I don't know if you guys can even see it properly. My whole thing feels a little blurry, but whatever. Okay. So 18, I read about the 1 and the 8, and then I also read about the 9. And the 1 is you, okay? The 1 is this spark of awareness. It is the consciousness. That is you, okay? And the 8 is talking about this sense of arrival. Okay. Something arriving, something, and I'm going to go into a little more, but something going through this process from awareness of it to embracing it to expressing it to it like fucking fully forming into a material expression. Okay. Materializing. And then the 9 talks about there's no going back. You've crossed the threshold. And I feel like that is significant in and of itself. Like whoever's drawn to this message, whoever feels this shit, you have crossed an internal threshold within yourself and you still feel profoundly uncomfortable because you expected that once you crossed this certain threshold, once you said yes to this part of yourself, you expected on some level that, oh, I'm going to feel way better than I ever have. And sometimes you do, right? But there's other times that you just feel like shit and you feel like you're going backwards, but you're not, okay? There ooh, ooh, my heart. Oh my God, I'm getting emotional. That's my intuition. I'm a Cancer, Venus, Sun, rising, all that shit, by the way. My emotional self, like that. When I get teary-eyed, that's my body. It's saying like, listen, pay attention. There is no going back. And you're welcome to comment and tell me what you're experiencing and how this is resonating for you, or message me about it. We can talk about it, but there's no going back. You have crossed a threshold and you are not turning back. You are not the same person you were. Oh, I want to cry so bad. Oh my God. It feels like relief in my body. That's what I'm feeling right now. That's what's making me emotional. There's so much relief of like, oh, thank God, it's like, oh, I thought I was the same me because I feel scared and I feel this discomfort and this ugh, and I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with this energy. And I feel like my thoughts are getting negative again. I feel like it's getting overwhelming again, right? This message is saying, no, 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 no. You were just in new territory. You were just uncomfortable. Now you were not hurting. You were not scared. You were not feeling this ugh because you were who you used to be, the version of yourself that you've been crawling your way out of for so fucking long. No, you were uncomfortable and scared because you were in unknown territory. Okay. That is classic nervous system change too. Okay. That's not anything to be weary of. Okay. It's a good thing. This is a good sign. But okay. So what I wrote down as from this numerology was something about, and this is going to sound a little like simple, but don't let it like that deter you. An idea arrives, okay? An idea arrives to you because you are the one who can bring it into its material state. And this idea, whatever it is, it's alive and it has its own consciousness, okay? It is something that fully exists in the quantum field, in the all, the source material. It is in a fully formed state there, okay? But it wants to be brought into the material form, okay? It's an expression of you. That's why it's coming to you. That's why you have the idea, the pull. And it doesn't matter if this idea or pull, let's like be practical for a second. It doesn't matter if this idea or this pull is something that you see millions of other people doing. The fact that you see other people doing and you feel like, oh, I want to do that, but I can't do that. I don't know if I can do that. It's oversaturated, blah fucking blah. The fact that you feel that, the fact that it's so aware, it's so alive in your awareness, it's because it's alive in you. It's just that you're projecting it out because you haven't fully accepted it. And there's a way, this message, the moon card brought a message about how you're a way that you can accept it. But by the way, only ever take what resonates, okay? Do not just take what I say as like, okay, that's truth. No, let it resonate in your body. And if your body flags it as like this is like ugh, this sits wrong in my body, trust that feedback. That means that might not be the message for you. But okay. So the idea arrives to you because you are the one who can bring it into material form. This idea is alive and it chose you because it has its own consciousness. This is what we're talking about in arrival. And the examples that my book that I was referencing gave is the baby's head is crowning. The cookies are about to come out of the oven. The poet receives or feels the arrival of the poem, right? The mathematician receives the formula and the solution all at once. That's the energy we're talking about here. And I feel like I just heard this. Someone's telling themselves, I'm not capable. I have this idea, I have this thing, but I'm not capable. That's a fucking little shadow thought, okay? It's not truth. And the fact that it makes you feel sad and depleted when you think it, that's your somatic feedback that it's not true. It's actually distorted truth. And distorted truth, that's what fear is a lot of the time. It's truth, but in its distorted form, kind of inverted. A lot of the times, if you sit with that fear and you process it, that's why we tap. That's what tapping is all about. We process that emotional tension because then your clarity gets to emerge. What you discover is that the thing that you thought was untrue, like the thing that you thought you were bad at, like I'm not capable of this, you actually naturally discover through releasing that emotional tension and that fear that, oh, wait, no, my body was actually telling me I am capable of this. I just wasn't receptive to it because I was afraid and I didn't feel safe. So that's what we're gonna address that through tapping later. But okay. So hi AJ. Hi. Okay, so this card, so my way of working with tarot lately is I've been basically like I'll see the scene and then I will go into my imagination and I will literally walk into the scene of the tarot card, okay? So I did that before I got on this live. I it's called path working. And I stepped into the scene of the card and I went up to this figure And man, they were intimidating. Let me tell you. They felt as intimidating as they look in this card. And they said this to me, okay? And this is again, this is for all of us. Take what resonates though. They said, "You are not always honest about how you feel. You hide behind needing to be strong when really you need to fucking break." Okay? And this is where we're going to get into the invitation here. This is where we're going to start talking about descending into madness willfully. All right. What this energy is saying is so, and I'll give you some examples or an example. So the other day, I felt disappointed about something. And immediately I told myself, I should not be feeling disappointed about this. And it wasn't conscious. It wasn't like a conscious thing. I just felt it. I felt, and what it felt like in my body is it felt like this like inner collapse, this like tightening inside that made me kind of feel like worthless, if that makes sense. I felt suddenly I just felt like it's hard to articulate exactly what it was, but I think if this is resonating, you understand what I'm saying. I just felt this sense of like retreat within. And it's because I pulled a piece of myself back instead of honoring how I felt in that moment, instead of recognizing and acknowledging, like, yeah, I feel disappointed. I just do. I just fucking do. Like, why? Why am I telling myself I shouldn't feel the way I'm feeling when I'm fucking feeling that way? Really think about that for a second. Think about that. Where do you do that to yourself? Where do you tell yourself I shouldn't be feeling the way I'm feeling, but yet I feel that way? If you really just, like, look at that for a second, it stops making sense. And it's like, "Okay, but the feeling's there." It's kinda like I have a chair over here next to me, my desk chair, and I'm looking at it, and it's like, it would be silly of me to be like, "That chair shouldn't be here." But it's here. It's here. I hope you get what I hope you can feel the innards of what I'm saying here. But okay, the invitation here, and this is the uncomfortable thing, and this is the moon card is the epitome of dis fucking comfort, okay? It is uncomfortable. And if you think of the original Rider-Waite tarot, like when you walk in, you see the lobster crawling, the crawfish like crawling out of the water, and there's dogs and wolves howling, and there's like creepy stuff happening around you. And really that's just the shadow of the mind. It's just like the moon's gaze isn't as bright as the sun, right? It's that more dim light. And so you can't see everything as it is. Everything's like cloaked in shadow and the imagination gets to run wild. And when you're in that discomfort, that state of I don't feel safe, it's easy for the mind to play with that, right? So your invitation in all this energy, your descent into madness is essentially throw a fucking tantrum. Throw a fucking tantrum. Okay? Do it in a safe way. Okay? Because all feelings are okay, all behaviors are not. I read that somewhere and that just stuck with me. All feelings are okay, all behaviors are not. But throw a tantrum in a safe way. And actually, let me give you an example of where I did this and it changed my relationship to myself. So I need a sip of my drink. Hold on. By the way, have you guys ever had this? The recess? I fucking love it. It's so good. Anyway, random, like going everywhere. Okay, so whenever my last relationship ended, it was the most like gut wrenching heartbreak I've ever had. Like genuinely. Genuinely, it was absolutely fucking devastating. I mean, I'm not even gonna go into the details about it, but it just like it fucking felt horrible. And I knew in this moment, and it felt so bad because I basically made that relationship my identity. I made that person my identity. This was like me like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like that. And so I realized this. I realized I don't know who I am anymore. And that was the core of my pain. It wasn't just the damn, he fucked me over. Like he did me dirty. It was, I don't have a sense of self. I don't have an inner root system. I don't have an inner foundation to lean on, to support myself in this heaviness, in this pain. And so I was just a mess. I was an absolute mess. And I knew in that moment, I knew I have to face this feeling. I cannot hold this within me. I cannot I can't ignore this like I have in the past. I can't turn on myself and become a brat within my own life and be a victim to this. I can't do that anymore. And so I let myself throw a fucking tantrum, let me tell you. Oh my God. Whenever he was not home, because we lived together at the time, that's partially why it was so hard. I literally just, I fucking screamed, you guys. Every time the pain just came up, I screamed. I've never let myself do that before. I just fucking screamed and I thrashed and I threw my body on the couch and I just felt all of it. And I'm gonna cry if I think about it too hard because it was just not because of the pain coming back or anything, but because of, wow, man, like I really fucking showed up for myself in that moment. And it just, my body is like so grateful for that. And that's a part of it though. That's a message in and of itself. Like your body, you will feel this love and gratitude when you embrace yourself, when you embrace the parts of yourself that you think shouldn't be there because they are supposed to be there and they're there for a reason. And it's up to you to open up to them, to dive into it in a healthy, safe way. So that way you can discover it, right? Going back to our fucking original quote, our deepest fears are like dragons. They are dragons guarding your deepest treasure. Okay. So I felt a very specific thing, and I am a poet. I do write poetry like almost every day. So it makes sense that this would come to me, but I really feel this. I really feel this for someone. Even if you don't write poetry, even if you don't like poetry, this came through as a brilliant way for someone to embrace their inner madness. Write a disgustingly chaotic poem. And the way I started writing my best poetry, the way it first started, the flow started unblocking, is I literally would just write whatever the hell was coming to my mind. And eventually, at first it wasn't very good, but eventually I found a rhythm. And now the rhythm is very natural. I don't have to like tweak my poems endlessly to experience this rhythmic flow and this like harmony and these rhymes and stuff like that a lot of the time. But in that, again, that's a message too. It's not about poetry, it's about you. It's about when you embrace this part of yourself, this wilderness, this inner madness that just has been so fucking repressed behind. I need to be strong and hold it together because it's not safe to break. It's safe to fucking break now, dude. It's safe to break. You'll know that. You'll feel that in your body. Okay. It is safe to break. But write this. I think I lost my train of thought, whatever. But your invitation is to write a disgustingly ugly, wild, horrible, horrible poem, okay? Whatever. Don't even call it a poem, just like a a a, a stream of consciousness and just say whatever the fuck you want to say. Let it be dirty, let it be evil, let it be grotesque, okay? Let it be fucking grotesque because and this is where we're going to go into more of this, okay? The whole point of this is to channel your chaos into art, into some kind of expression. Expression. I say art because I believe let your life is your art, not in a cheesy way, in a real way. But okay, here's the rest of the shit that I wrote down. You are not just this neat and tidy bag of bones. You are an expression of chaos, channeled into what seems to be order. As an inhale is an exhale, so chaos is order. They are two sides of the same fucking coin, okay? They each serve a purpose. They feed into each other. One cannot exist without the other, okay? So embrace your madness, your fear, as just as you embrace love and air, okay? It is all you. The part of you that this fear that you're feeling, this feeling that's inside of you that you're avoiding, it is you and it needs to be accepted, okay? It is the door that feels locked. It's not locked though. It's your avoidance that's locking the door. And it's your acceptance of it that unlocks that door. And this is your path home. And home is you. Home is you. Like my whole thing, my job and my soul that I feel called to do is to help you remember how to be yourself, to help you remember that it's safe to be you, to help you feel good being yourself again, maybe for the first time ever. And so the rest of the message says the sun, which follows the moon, will ultimately rise. Okay. And you will experience clarity that the chaos paved the way for. And to go back to my example of whenever I was letting myself just thrash and feel and cry and sob, every time I did that, something amazing happened that I didn't know was gonna happen. I would enter these moments, like, I would be literally immersed in the darkness, feeling like, "I'm gonna die here. I'm fucking stuck here. I'm gonna be heartbroken and just miserable for the rest of my life." That's what it feels like, right? But what would happen is suddenly I noticed that the feeling, the pain would start to kinda subside, and what would start to rise on its own, right? It was just, oh my god, it would float up to the surface, was gratitude. And in the same moment that I hated this man for what he just did, I loved him more than I've ever loved him before. And honestly, me and him are great friends now. We have our moments, we have our shit, but we're really good friends. And it's because we have this sense of love for each other and this sense of appreciation for each other that I genuinely know is derived from those moments when I just let myself break, when I let myself be crazy. And I even let myself be crazy at him during that breakup. I would go nuts. I was like, no, fuck you. Okay, fuck you. First of all, fuck you, right? Because how dare you do that to me? But also, I can't hold this in anymore. Not for your sake, not for anybody's sake. I'm letting it, I'm unleashing it. And that was a little bit more of a chaotic way. Like there was it's kind of funny too. There was like one time, couple times I did this. I would tell him I would just be horrible. I would be horrible, and I would just like tell him, "Get out, get out, get out, get out." You know, like screaming at him to get out. And he would sit out on the front porch, and I would just blast my stereo right next to the window and play all the songs that said exactly what I needed to say. And I would scream, sing it at him, and it was just absolute madness. But at the end of the day, like that part of me needed to be felt. And I say it 222. She needed to be experienced. She needed to be embraced because normally I'd judge her. I'd push her down. I'd say, no, get over it. Get over it. He hurt you. He's not worth it. Fuck that. It ain't about him. It's about you. It's about how you feel. And that experience happened to crack me the fuck open so I can realize that I had given myself up, that I had buried myself in exchange for some shell of an expression of love. And what I got back was literally that. I loved myself it was hollow. It was hollow. I was like, "Yeah, I love myself." No, I wasn't practicing that. I wasn't embodying self-love. I wasn't living from that state. And guess what? Everything I experienced reflected that because your life is a mirror. Okay. Where was I? Whew. Okay. So the sun will ultimately rise and you will experience clarity. And your clarity might look different than mine. Mine turned into gratitude and understanding and self love. Yours might look like, oh my God, I can finally create now. Like, oh my gosh, I finally know what to do now, whatever. The sun will ultimately rise and you will experience clarity that the chaos paved the way for. Your peace is inevitable. Somebody needs to know that. Your peace is inevitable, but it is through the allowing of this chaos. I wrote this all jumbled up because I was channeling. I'm gonna try to say it differently because I'm trying to read it and it ain't coming out right. Your peace is inevitable, but it's allowing the chaos that reveals it. And tell me if you guys have any questions. Tell me if you need me to reiterate something in a different way. The peace that you're reaching for, though, my friend, it's not peace that comes as a result of a change of circumstance. And if you guys follow me on notes, I post about this shit all the time. Like we ain't here to change circumstances to make ourselves feel fucking better. No, we embrace what is and we fucking go within and we self-soothe, we self-provide within because that is where you access unconditional love. That is where you access unconditional peace. And that is what you are reaching for. And you will know that, you will feel it in your body if that is your truth. It is an undiluted, unconditional peace that is awaiting you. And that peace is a foundation, okay? You can't build a house without a fucking foundation. And you've been trying to. And your foundation, and think about it, anytime like we go to build a house, we have to tear up the fucking ground, right? We have to tear up the ground. We got to get messy. Everything is way worse. Or even if you're doing a renovation, everything has to be destroyed before it can be made beautiful. This is the exact same concept. Something needs to be destroyed in the best way, okay? In the best, most uncomfortable, but brilliantly healing way. This is the kind of peace that's actually going to sustain you. And it's not going to be dependent on anything outside of you. That is, that's over. That is over. Whatever part of you that feels like I can't feel okay until this thing changes. You are just addicted to feeling like shit. You're addicted to the pain, and that's why that is conditional. But if this is resonating, if this is activating you, you're ready to let it go. You finally hit that point where it's like, I just know that this isn't gonna make it any better. I have to make it better. Okay, what else do I have here? And you will realize on the other side of this that there was never truly anything to fear. And, I get this sense like in this card, and when you read the book about the card, and if you want to know the book, let me know and I'll put it in the article. Um, but there's this sense I keep feeling it in my head. I see this figure walking through the darkness in the moon card, and there's like the bats and the vampires and the demons and all this like gory, like grotesque, scary stuff, right? And I see this person at first when they enter it, it's like, "Oh god, this stuff's gonna kill me, it's gonna hurt me, oh my god," just like when we feel bad, it feels like we're gonna be there forever. But then it feels like they're my friends now. Like, their noises don't scare me, they soothe me because I know what it is now. I don't have to be afraid. And this discomfort that I feel, I'm still uncomfortable, but this discomfort that I feel feels purposeful. It feels like it's happening for me, not to me. It feels like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And it's just and you realize, like, all the things I thought I had to fear, they were just like shadow puppets of my mind, feeding off of my self-avoidance. That's it. That's its food source. It's avoidance. It's self-neglect. It's pretending like that feeling doesn't matter. It's pretending like that part of you doesn't deserve to take up space because you heard when you were growing up over and over again, "Just get over it. Just get over it. Why are you so sensitive? Why did And it's like, I even catch myself saying that to my double Leo Libra daughter, my 4-year-old. I'm just like, "Oh my god, you were next level sensitive." But that's a part of her gift. That's a part of her brilliance that makes her her, that makes her shine. And what you need here most of all, and here's the thing, we tend to think we tend to think that trust is something that just, happens or is a result of something, but trust is actually a creative function. When you choose to trust, you're opening your consciousness, your life, you're turning it in that direction of these circumstances. Like me, how do I say this? Me standing in this state of trust, it's going to kind of outpour from me reasons to trust, trusting situation, trustworthy situations, experiences that I can feel safe to surrender to and accept. Like trust creates trust. Does this make sense? Like I hope I'm articulating that right. Because it's like it's one thing to feel it and know it. It's another thing to put it into fucking words. But trust is your anchor. Okay? It's the medicine. And it's the part that's hard to do. I remember, man, I remember feeling like, "Oh my god, I don't know how the fuck to trust this. I don't know how to trust it." And I still have to I go back and forth still. I have to re-anchor myself. I have to reorient myself back into trust almost every day. Every day. When the anxiety starts, when the noise kicks in and the shadow puppets in my mind get loud and my consciousness is so my nervous system is so used to feeling that it's easy just to slip into like an old pair of jeans or something, It's like I shouldn't be wearing these anymore. There's a hole in the crotch, but goddamn it, I keep putting them on. It's like it's probably a bad example, but it just feels normal, it feels familiar, so it's easy just to automatically be there, and so the labor, the hard part is becoming aware, "Oh, I'm here. I'm believing this again. Whoa, okay, I have to choose to trust in this moment." And it literally in practical terms, that literally looks like tapping through the fear, because tapping is like I think to me, it's the quickest, most powerful way to alchemize that emotional tension or metabolize that emotional tension that's keeping you locked into that state. So you tap through it, at least this is what I do. You tap through that fear, and then when you've resolved and just a little bit of it, it's a little bit easier. Some days it's a lot easier, some days it's a little easy, some days it's really hard, but then you're able to kind of consciously think and consciously guide your mind to say, I choose to trust this moment, or I choose to trust that this feeling is here for me for a reason. This sense of wilderness inside of me, it's serving a purpose. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. You have to give that up. Nothing's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with this moment. You got to let that go. That story that something's wrong. That's actually, I'm going to tell you, tap on that. Tap on that. That's going to make a difference for someone. And I'll give you like a simple little script. It's so easy. Tapping's so fucking easy. I'll give you a simple little prompt that you can apply to that as well. That releasing that belief, that story, and the emotion in your body that keeps it alive and active, that gives it a landing place, that the emotion gives it the landing place, the story. Story is an expression of that emotion. And it's just like a loop when you don't let it process, when you don't help it process and metabolize, it loops and loops and loops. And that's why we feel stuck. But you're not really stuck. You're just not dealing with it. So essentially, be the madman. Okay. Be the madman until clarity replaces chaos and you finally taste real freedom, the freedom to be you. And I know this is deep. This is heavy. I didn't even know we were going to go this fucking deep, you guys. I didn't know. I thought I was going to come on here, give you a sweet couple little lines. Nope. 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 We're trying something new today. Okay. So hold on. I need to sip. Okay. So I'm going to give you a little tapping script to take with and run with it and do what you want with it. But it's just it's a jumping off point. And from there, I want you to take your specific fears, the things that whatever how your experience of reality and of yourself filters through this message and the parts that resonate for you. I want you to take those specifics, write them down, get real specific, real on the nose, be as fucking brutally honest, chaotically honest with yourself as you possibly can muster up in the moment. And trust it, okay? And tap on that specifically because that's where think of like your identity is like a tabletop. Like the part of you that's afraid, it's the top of the table. The part of you that believes that they can't do it, okay? That's the top of the table. And the legs of the table are these little stories, these little things, these little remnants, like the specific little pieces. And when you tap on those, you knock out that leg of the table. And then you knock out the leg, and then boom, the whole fucking identity starts to collapse. It's like that. That's how tapping works. And it's powerful. It's crazy. Okay. So here's your tapping script. And you can do it with me now if you want. We're just going to do the karate chop point for a few moments. And then I'm going to send you guys on your way. Okay. Tap here on the meaty part of your hand. Just tap where you feel pressure, not to where it hurts. I'm going to try to read this like from over here. Okay. And repeat after me. Take a nice deep breath, actually. And if you're feeling, I want to say this too before we start, actually. If you're feeling any like specific tension in your body right now, tap on that. Because again, it's the leg. That's a leg on under this identity that you're essentially transcending out of through this process. So tap here and repeat after me. Even though it feels unsafe and dangerous, to be honest about how I feel and to feel this feeling, whatever it is, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Okay, we're going to do it 2 more times. Even though it feels unsafe and dangerous, to be honest about how I feel and to feel this feeling, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I see a 1, 2, 3, 4 on my clock. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though it feels unsafe and dangerous, to be honest about how I feel and to feel this feeling. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Okay, now take a nice deep breath. And I'm going to give you guys little clues if you're not familiar with tapping. And if you ever have any questions, do not hesitate to ask me. I am generous with my information. When you tap, if you when you notice your body start to relax. Actually, let me say this before. When you tap and you notice the emotion get worse, that's not a bad sign. It's a good sign. It means that your body is showing you what's going on. It's showing you what you're feeling, okay? It's bringing it to the surface because it's coming up to be metabolized. It's coming up to be processed, okay? And so when you start to notice on the other side of that, you start to notice your body relaxing. Maybe you start to feel tired, you burp, you yawn, you cry, whatever, and you just start to feel really tired and relaxed or exhausted, drained. Trust that you have processed that energy. You might have layers to it that you need to come back to over and over again. I mean, shit, I've been processing money fears, money stories, money emotional trauma about around money for fucking like at least a year now. And I'm coming into some wild revelations and I'm accessing new clarity and new ways of thinking. But it took a lot of tapping to get there. It took a lot of other things that were attached to it to get there. So there are parts of these wounds that are really layered that need a lot of consistent like something's on my nose that need a lot of consistent attention and love and compassion. And also I want to say, don't get caught up. I used to do this. I don't know if you guys even would, but I used to get caught up in like the structure, like the even though and the I completely love and accept myself. Trust it. Because essentially what you're doing is you're addressing, and this is why I love tapping, you're addressing where you are. You're meeting yourself exactly where you are. You're not trying to be anything other than what you are. You're not pushing anything to the side. You're not like trying to just quiet your mind. No, you're facing the madness in your mind and you're associating it with compassion because that's what it needs. That is what's going to create that physiological sense of safety in your body that's going to allow your body to let it go. And on the other side of that is you. Your natural self, your natural clarity, your natural inspiration, the shit that you think you've had to affirm yourself into, like trying to force yourself to think differently when your body wasn't ready, or the part of you that you thought you weren't, that you wanted to be. No, you are it. If you desire to be it, it's because you are it. Okay. That desire it's a part of you speaking to you, but you're interpreting it as it's separate from you, and it's just not. It's not, and that's a part of the work, okay? And as you release that emotional tension, you start to meet those parts of yourself very naturally. You don't have to force it. They just start to be who you are. Next thing you know, you're expressing as that part of you and you're like, "Whoa, okay. I didn't know I could do that." In fact, this live right now is it's a perfect expression of that. Me showing up this way is a perfect embodiment and expression of that because I don't know if you guys have seen my other lives before this, but I was pretty rigid. I mean, I was me, but there was this like tension in my body of like performing, like needing to perform. And I was really wrestling with it, really wrestling with it. And something just broke. Like I've been working through those things, tapping through those things. And now sitting here in front of you, just riffing and talking about the shit that I'm actually passionate about talking about instead of trying to be something I think other people need, it feels more natural. I get to actually be me. And that's the medicine. That's the medicine for me. And that medicine ripples out into people who resonate with it and need it. And it activates them in the way that they need, just like it does for me when other people do that too. Other artists, other creatives, other people just expressing themselves. It's all connected. We're all in this together. So embrace your inner madman. Be a madman for a day. Just remember your feelings are okay. Your behavior, not every behavior is okay. So don't go create chaos in the world or in other people's lives. Okay. Channel it into a poem, channel it into art, cry, thrash on your bed. Okay. Lock yourself in your room. Tell everybody, don't worry, I'm good. And go fucking like beat a pillow or something. All right. Like whatever you feel like you need to do to really like embrace that part of yourself. Write a story. Write a story of you, like, and maybe it's not you, but write a story, create a character where they go out and they create madness on the page, whatever, have fun with it. Play. Play in this volatility in a healthy way. And you will find a piece of yourself that you've been looking for because your fear is just a dragon protecting your greatest treasure. But okay, I'm going to give you guys just like a few seconds here. If you have any questions, if you have anything you want to say, drop it in the chat. And then I'm going to hit end on this. Because, oh man, I don't know about you guys, but my eyes are heavy. Like, I feel like everything I just said and everything we just did, woo, I need a nap now. So does anybody have any questions about tapping or anything like that? Let me know. I'm all wide open, baby. Plus these drinks really work. I've only drank like a quarter of it and I feel very relaxed. It's wild. It's magnesium and adaptogen infused sparkling water. Calm, cool, collected. An antidote to modern times. Oh, hold on. My 4-year-old wants some candy. Mom life, you guys. Mom life. All right, here you go. All right. Well, if you guys have anything that you want to say, if you want to hit me up, message me, that's fine. I offer private tapping sessions, just FYI. I thought my phone was on Do Not Disturb. I do private tapping sessions. I do a breakthrough session, which is just a one off. We work through one core wound, one core belief, limiting story, feeling in your body that's just holding you back, whatever it is. And we fucking neutralize that shit with a tapping session and reveal your clarity to you. And I also do 4-week and 8-week intensives as well for those who know I got to go on a journey with this shit. It ain't going to be a one and done. So, either way, tapping creates permanent changes, you guys. So, start tapping daily if you're not. But I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. We're going to do this again. This was really fun. I had a great time with this. So, yeah. All right. Mwah. Later, peeps.